Добрый
Good afternoon. Thanks everybody for joining us. Media Center of Ukraine, Ukrinform continues its operation. It's day 238 of our fight for freedom, and we will talk about the situation in Dnipropetrovsk region. We have Mykola Lukashuk live, the head of regional council, deputy head of Dnipropetrovsk region defense council. Mr. Mykola, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mr. Mykola, we know that in the night the occupants targeted the Kryvyi Rih region again. What are the consequences of these strikes? One industrial establishment and one industrial installation and one critical infrastructure objects were targeted. No casualties, no injured. What is the situation with the critical infrastructure? Do all the districts of the city have electricity supply? Yes, electricity supply is on in all the districts. We had a meeting with communities. It's 86 of them, out of which 20 are big cities. And the heads of communities, starting from the minor village up to the big city, they have meetings with business and with community members now, so that everybody understands that electricity should be saved. Because in case we don't save electricity, if we don't reduce the load on the network, we will have disconnections in the network. We didn't have them for the time being, but if we take the period from October 10, the number of rocket missile strikes on energy infrastructure increased. It overlapped everything that we've seen within the previous month of war. Mr. Mykola, talking about the region in general, what are the consequences of these strikes for the time being? Okay, the day before yesterday, when we had one strike in Dnipro, a little bit more than 30 buildings were damaged after this strike. Half a part of the region, including part of the city, had electricity off. I want to thank our energy supply technicians that this problem was eliminated. Mr. Mykola, our country is entering the economy regime, and we can observe it in all the regions of the country. Do you have any changes to your plans in the view of the beginning of the heating season? We expect the heating season to be started in early November, but now relevant committees and the office of the military governor keeps monitoring the situation, including the weather conditions, because we can find ourselves in the situation when people are at homes, they heat themselves and they save, and we start saving gas, but people start heating themselves using different electrical means and creating thus the load on the electricity network. But you will get the holistic answer from the military administration. Dear colleagues, your questions. Olga Panasenko, Ukrinform, good afternoon. Can you please tell us, yesterday you brought up the numbers of the temporarily relocated, internally relocated people. 357,000 were officially registered. In European, what's the informal figure? What figure is closer to the reality, and what regions do the relocated people come from? Thank you. In my opinion, this number can be increased 30 or even 40%, and we can see this by the information provided by the national police and cell phone operators, so that they can see the load on the cell phone networks. So, for example, if in March we've seen a huge number of people leaving Dnipro or Kryvyi Rih, For example, about 500,000 people left. So starting from May, people started coming back to those areas. And today, it all came to the level above the pre-war level. And when we're talking about the regions, like which parts of Ukraine people come from, so if we talk about Kryvyi Rih, it's mostly the people relocated from Nikopol and from Kherson regions. Now a lot of people from Nikopol were moved to Kryvyi Rih because the front line moved to Berislav, to that area. The areas are being gradually liberated and people come to Kryvyi Rih. If we talk about Dnipro region, the Pavlograd region, it's the people from Luhansk and Donetsk region, from Kharkiv region, including Zaporizhia region, which borders on our region, near Synernikov district. Mr. Mykola, we understand that what you've said is like 500,000 people were forced to get relocated and they now reside in Dnipro or Dnipro regions. What are the main challenges that you're facing now? Let's be straight, we have a number of challenges and we understand that this winter is going to be one of the most complicated in the history of the country, that we see that now the enemy cannot provide a decent response to the actions of our armed forces. It targets civil infrastructure and civilian population, but people, the challenge is to have people provided with the jobs, provided them with funds. Now that we see a lot of internally relocated persons applying to social services in search of jobs. For example, we checked the analytics today, and the disbursement made by the employers amounted to 21 million, and the number of people who found their jobs in this way is 1,964 people, which is like a minor number comparing to the total number who arrived in the region. And we understand that some people, they have some money in their accounts. We understand that some people found their jobs not through social services, maybe through some announcements, ads. But if we see these statistics, it's not that big, and that I see it as another challenge. Mr. Mykola, about the study in schools, were all the schools switched to online study mode? Well, from the beginning of the study process, we were considering the issue of starting the studies live, but the situation with the regular shellings, regular rocket strikes, now the majority of our districts, they have their studies, school study online, but in some districts we have a mixed mode, but it's minor part of them. I want to thank you. Thanks for getting involved. I will remind you, we had Mykola Lukashuk, the head of Dnipropetrovsk Council. We drop the schedule for tomorrow. Follow our announcements. Glory to Ukraine.